other. The actions taken to date by the president have seriously violated the Constitution, especially when the president says, Article 2 says I can do whatever I want. For the past several months, we have been investigating.
It's more the Democratic Party. They can do whatever they want. They're above the law. They are about the law, and they're above the law.
In our committees and litigating in the courts, so the House can gather all the relevant facts and consider whether to exercise its full Article 1 powers, including a constitutional power of the utmost gravity, approval of articles of impeachment. And this week, the president has admitted to asking the president of Ukraine to take actions which would benefit him politically. The actions of the Trump presidency revealed dishonorable facts.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking a head of state to continue the investigation of Hunter Biden and the Bidens concerning the gas company, the corrupt gas company, the real corrupt gas company. There's nothing wrong with that.
Of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. I'm directing our 6 committees to proceed with their investigations under that umbrella of impeachment inquiry. The president must be held accountable. No one is above the law. Getting back to our founders.
Yeah. What? Let me hear.
In the darkest days of the American Revolution, Thomas Paine wrote, "The times have found us. The times found them to fight for and establish our democracy. The times have found us today."
Basically, what she's saying is that we are the law. She caves into these impeachment demands by the extreme left communists. Okay, it's just an inquiry, means nothing, and God knows who this whistleblower is. People who are Trump supporters and Republicans, conservative, don't worry about this. This is going to fall flat against them, and the reason is because it's all about Ukraine and the corruption and the Bidens and the China deal of $1.5 billion that I will talk about. So she caved in to these radical left. A head of state is allowed to ask for an investigation to continue. There's nothing there. So now they want to impeach the president. They want to impeach the president for just asking an investigation. They're so desperate, they don't know what to do. But this is going to fall flat. This is going to fall flat. And this is why. Here we go. 1 second. We're going to be watching this exchange. This is really good. Concerning Giuliani talking about what's happening in Ukraine, he understands. He really understands what's happening in Ukraine. That is involved with an FBI agent that's now working with George Soros, and the media covering up what really happened. Here we go. Hold on a second.
The Ukrainian president to investigate the son of former Vice President Joe Biden, potentially influencing the 2020 race. Joining me here live in Washington to talk more about this is Mr. Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, welcome back to Fox.
How are you, John?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us. Let's clear something up first of all. Let's dial the clock back to Thursday. Play this exchange between you and Chris Cuomo on CNN, in which you appear to at first say you didn't ask Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and or his son, and then you seem to change your mind.
Right.
Listen here.
Did you ask the Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden?
No, actually, I did.
You never asked anything about Hunter Biden. You never asked anything about Joe Biden.
The only thing I asked about Joe Biden is to get to the bottom of how it was that Lutsenko, who was appointed, dismissed the case against Antak.
So you did ask Ukraine to look into Joe Biden?
Of course I did.
You just said you didn't.
All right. So which is it? Did you ask Ukraine? Did you ask Ukraine to look into it?
I clarified it immediately. He said to me, "Did you ever talk about Joe Biden?" I said, "No." Then I said, "I did say that you should investigate Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. The no was obviously wrong. I corrected it immediately.
Okay.
I corrected it before he corrected it. The reality is, the distinction is this. What they're trying to say is I went there for a political mission to kind of get Joe Biden in trouble. Ridiculous. I went there as a lawyer defending his client. I've known about this for 5 months. I've been trying to get people to cover this for 5 months, so I knew it would be very, very hard to get this out. And what I'm talking about it's Ukrainian collusion, which was large, significant, and proven, with Hillary Clinton, with the Democratic National Committee, a woman named Shaluper, with the ambassador, with an FBI agent who's now been hired by George Soros, who was funding a lot of it. When Biden got the prosecutor fired, the new prosecutor, who Biden approved, you don't get to approve a prosecutor in a foreign country unless something fishy is going on. The new prosecutor dropped the case not just on Biden's kid and the crooked company that Biden's kid worked for, Burisma. That was done as a matter of record in October of 2016, after the guy got tanked. He also dropped the case on George Soros' company called Antac. Antac is the company where there's documentary evidence that they were producing false information about Trump, about Biden. Fusion GPS was there. Go back and listen to Nellie Orr's testimony. Nellie Orr says that there was a lot of contact between Democrats and the Ukraine. Well, I have all the contacts. And John, when the rest of this comes out, and we look at China and the $1.5 billion that the Biden family took out of China while that guy was negotiating for us, this will be a lot bigger than Spiro Agnew. They have fallen into...
This is huge, guys. I mean, people understand this is huge. The Ukrainian, I guess all roads lead to Ukraine. The real collusion, what's really going on down there. You heard it. You heard it. This is what they're trying to cover up. The media. This is what the Democratic Party is just trying to cover up. Also at the same time, and Nancy Pelosi knows it. They know the real story, and this is why Joe Biden says no, China. There's nothing wrong with China, obviously. So just talk a little bit about this. This is huge, man. This is huge. And I just want to Media Matters because Laura Ingraham, and I was watching, by the way. I was trying to get the clip for this. Giuliani was on fire, man. Literally on fire. She couldn't stop him. But let's just listen, okay? Hold on.
Are you the one to do this? Why isn't this the role of the Justice Department or the FBI? Why task you, the personal attorney, the president, to do that? I think that's a question that just layman was like, okay, I get it. That should be investigated. But why is Rudy running the show on that? Why isn't it FBI and the main justice?
That's a very good question. Because the FBI's performance since its entire investigation, including up to this moment, is flawed. Why am I doing it, Laura? Can't you figure it out? I'm his defense lawyer. I'm defending him. He's my client. I don't know. Only Donald Trump is not entitled to a defense in America.
But how are you defending him by investigating Biden? Just spell it out for us.
Because one of the things that the prosecutor that Biden had fired, and then the prosecutor that Biden helped to put in, one of the things they did was to dismiss a case against an organization that was collecting false information about Donald Trump, about Paul Manafort, and feeding it to the Democratic National Committee.
Okay, that explains it to people. That organization was run by... I don't think people understood that.
That was run by George Soros, who then hired the crooked FBI agent who is now working for George Soros.
Okay, this is what he was talking about. Let me see. He's talking about APAC, or the company. Hold on a minute. Here, Antac, here. He also dropped a case on George Soros' company called Antac. Antac is the company where there's documented evidence that they were producing false information about Trump, about Biden. Fusion GPS was there also. Go back to listen to the Nellie Orr's testimony. So the company's called Antac. follow this company called Antec. Okay, this is what he's talking about here.
Who then hired the crooked FBI agent who is now working for George Soros. Laura, this stinks. This is Tammany Hall, New York politics to the tune of $1 billion. It stinks. I spent my life as a prosecutor investigating crooked Democrats, crooked Republicans. I don't care who's crooked. They should go to jail. Made money.
Yeah.
It made no money.
He had no.
The Chinese are not stupid.
Yeah,
they don't spend their money for no reason. There's only one reason the Chinese spent that money: to buy Joe Biden's office. That office doesn't belong to him. It belongs to the people of the United States. And if a president can't vindicate that, then it's a sad day for America. I am proud of my president because he is trying to clean up a swamp that is much worse than the American people realize.
Well, I think
It's disgusting.
Schumer warned about the deep state. They'll always find a way to get you, and there seems like there are
not if you have courage.
Yeah,
Nadia, he's right. He's 100% right. And this is Breitbart 2018. If you guys want to go into Biden's Sun Inc. deal with Chinese government, this is why the Democrats they never say anything wrong with the Chinese because they're in bed with them, obviously. Here we go. If you go to a private equity firm managed by the son of former Vice President Joe Biden struck a deal with China's state-owned bank. You just don't do stuff like that if it doesn't come way on the top. At the same time, Biden was in the country to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, I don't want to read the whole thing. Basically, somehow. I think it's before the meeting or after the meeting, they inked a $1.5 billion deal. Let me see. Hunter Biden is controlled by Rosemont entity, which describes itself as a $2.4 billion company. Hunter Biden met with top Chinese government fund leaders alongside. Now, I don't want to go into the whole details here because there were two meetings, actually. One meeting with the Chinese leader, and the other one meeting in Taiwan. Second meeting between Hunter Biden and other top Chinese officials would occur in Taiwan just 2 weeks after the vice president opened a strategic talk with China's Washington. 2000, the younger Biden would be part of a U.S. delegation that came. 10 days later, Rosemont entity inked a $1.5 billion with the Bank of China, which is really the government. Deals made by the firms as well, co-owned by the government, China officials, would go on to have serious national security implications for the United States. One such deal was the automotive subsidiary Aviation Industry Corporation of China, a major Chinese military contractor accused of frequently stealing U.S. military technology. Avic would go on to purchase 51% of American precision parts manufacturing. Hennings, Joe Biden's son, bought the other 49% in a deal that was approved by the Committee of Foreign Investment in the United States, which includes members of numerous government agencies, including the State Department. See, this all stinks, guys. This is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think Nancy Pelosi understands. Maybe she does understand, to get the forefathers. But you have to understand the Democratic Party think they're above. But these communists, I call them, they think they're above the, the Constitution. Basically, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, where's the investigation going? And Joe Biden even admitted that they held $1 billion to the Ukrainian government if they didn't fire the prosecutor. Anyways, there's a lot of things involved here, and Nancy Pelosi caves in to the impeachment calls by the left, by the communists. So this is the real downfall.
Not to place ourselves in the same category of greatness as our founders, but to place us in the urgency of protecting and defending our Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And the words of Ben Franklin, to keep our republic. I thank our chairman, Chairman Nadler, Chairman Schiff, Chairman Nadler of Judiciary, Chairman Schiff of Intelligence, Chairman Engel of Foreign Affairs.
My name is Samuel Ezerza for the SE Channel. God bless the Republic. And this is going to destroy the Democratic Party, this whole impeachment thing. Take care. God bless.